Okay, so, well, first of all, I want to thank all the people that subscribe to my channel. I'm at 2,619 subscribers. I'm almost monetized. I just need like 500 and I want to say 70 more watch time hours, and then I'm finally gonna start getting paid for YouTube. So I appreciate everybody for watching, subscribing, liking. Please like this video. And I'm about to start telling everybody about hard money lenders. The rule of thumb in real estate is like, you don't supposed to use your own money. It's supposed to be OPM, other people's money. Like whether you get a loan or you borrow from a friend or a family member, or you get a hard money lender. Let me tell you about hard money lenders real quick. They basically, they buy the house for you. It's your house, but they buy the house for you. They give you the rehab money. The rule of thumb is 70%. Like, as long as you're at 70%, say you buy the house for like 100,000. Say the house is worth 100,000 and you buy it for like 60,000 or 70,000. You're good. It just needs like minimum work. You make like 20, 30,000. They make a little bit over 10,000. But there's a lot of hidden fees. Like there's like closing costs, and then there's like the inspector comes out, make sure. When you ask for a draw, when you're working on a house, you ask for a draw. The inspector comes out, make sure you did it, make sure you did it right, and then they give the okay to the hard money lender, and then you get your draw. And it's a really, real tedious process. So let me tell you about hard money lender. Well, my interactions and my situations and what I went through with hard money lenders. So I got my house in Fresno in 14, 15. I brought my second rental in 2016, February, and then I brought my third rental in, I want to say March of 2016. That's the Roach house. My realtor, Michael, at the time, he was like, hey, look, I got this house in Katy. I was like, okay, cool. He was like, it's like 60,000. It's like a divorce. I got it. I got a friend that knows a guy that's divorced and they need to sell the house. That's another big way to get houses with divorces. I was like, man, look, I really don't have to look at it. You're saying 60,000. You're saying it's a 5'2", 5'2.5", 3. I was like, all right, like this is no brainer. I got the crew already. I'm pretty seasoned in the real estate. I got people that are gonna rehab and do the whole thing, and then I'm gonna be good. And he was like, so we saw the house. He was like, hey, look, you gotta look at the house. I was like, okay, cool. So I looked at the house next day. I looked at it. Had like a lot of fire damage, but I was like, man, look, I got this crew. We can make this happen in a couple of months, and then, blase, we're good. So I was like, hey, do you know any hard? At the time, I was tapped out. I spent all my money, all my cash. And he was like, hey, look, I know this hard money lender named Zeus. I was like, okay, cool. So I called Zeus. Zeus looked at everything, looked at the comps. They got one of my rentals for collateral, because at the time I didn't refinance them yet. It was 100% mine. Well, 2 out of the 3 was 100% mine. The first one I had a mortgage on it. So they got one of them for collateral. They got the deeds. They gave the okay. So I got this guy named Adlin. He comes out with this other guy named Fascal, and then these 2 other guys. It was like a 4-man crew. They did a really, really good job. I'm gonna show y'all the pictures, the videos that I have. They did a really, really good job. But the hard money lenders, they was giving me issues. They was like, hey, look, you gotta get a permit for the electrical. You gotta get a permit for that. The inspector, he was like, you gotta write down step by step what you're gonna do, and you gotta give it to him. Like, hey, look, I'm about to demo. I need a dumpster for that. It's 500. I'm gonna pay these guys a couple of hundred, so that's 800. After that, we're gonna do the electrical. We're gonna make sure the plumbing. So you write down everything. Hey, the electrical is gonna cost like 1,500. You're just giving estimates. The plumbing is gonna cost like 1,000. So I wrote everything down. Like the laminate is gonna be like 1,500. The tile. At the time, I'm asking Adlin. He was from, I think he was Jamaican. So I'm like, hey, how much to rehab? He just gives me like a basic like 30,000. You know, but that he didn't say like that's not including like the roofing, and then like they did the electrical, but they didn't have it up to code. Like there was still a lot of stuff that needed to be done. So man, I was demoing. Everybody that I knew was helping me demo. They came in. He had a guy that did the electrical, and then I think the garage was like completely tore up. Like the fire like demolished the garage, so they had to redo the garage. He wanted another $4,000, and then, you know, I was like, well, I tried to negotiate. He was like, no, I need that for that. That's a lot of work, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So I think the rehab ended up being like $35,000. Meanwhile, like the inspector was giving me issues, and so I had to go to the Katy courthouse, and I had to get a permit for the electrical, and I had to do this and do that, and man, it worked out. You know, I gave my guy Michael, I gave him 3%, you know, to sell it, and then I think they took $1,500 when I first got it, and then I put $10,000 down for the hard money lender, and then every month I'm paying them $1,200, and that's strictly interest. That don't go to the principal. That's just for giving me $62,500 to buy the house, and then another $35,000 to rehab. And my boy Jonathan was helping me out with the electrical, and then I paid Alan to paint the house. I think I paid him $3,000 for the inside and then $2,000 for the outside. And after that, I didn't pay nobody else to paint a house ever again, because I looked at him. He used my paint sprayer. He had his own, and I was just watching him, and it was just basic. And then people they're probably gonna paint the house anyway when they move in, so they really don't care, as long as you keep it like general, like this house, like just white or cream, and then you're good. So after that, I was like, all right, that's $5,000. That's a $5,000 lesson learned. I'm not hiring nobody. From now on, ever since then, I paint the inside and outside by myself. So, you know, it went really good. I made $55,000. And then, so I'm trying to get other houses. The market was changing. I couldn't get houses on the MLS no more. I had to like basically reinvent my whole thing, and I had to start door knocking. And then so I started printing out flyers. I started door knocking and finding the sellers, and I'm just trying creative ways of buying houses. And me and I think one of the people at Zeus got into it, so I couldn't use them anymore. So after that, I was done. So this is 2017, I just refinanced two of my houses. I refinanced the Roach house and I refinanced the Crack house. And I had like, I want to say 90,000. I got 60,000 for the Crack house and then 70 for the Roach house. That's 130,000. So I got 130,000. So I got this property. Like, I'm gonna show y'all the video. It's like at the bottom of my like right before the podcast, like I got the before and afters. Like that's the house that I'm living in right now. So I put $25,000 for this rehab, and then I put $10,000 down for the earnest money, and I'm not getting that back. Like that $10,000, like that's gone. Like goes down towards the mortgage. It goes directly for the principal. So they approved it. So bam, I got like, 95,000? So I got the Crack house. The other house, that wasn't the Crack house. That was my Monarch house, and then that was a Roach house. So I brought the Crack house, and then I brought this other house, my Richfield house, for $7,200. So they did such a good job, put them at that house over there, but Fascal wasn't there. He just had the two guys. I think they had like a 5-man crew, matter of fact. So we got, it's just Adeline, this guy, and 2 guys with him. So 2 other guys, and I'm still paying them $2,500 a week. So I'm trying to hurry up and fix up the Crack house. I'm trying to fix that up. It's me, Curtis, my boy Adeline, my dad's helping, and I'm just leaving them over there by themselves at Richfield. My contractor was like the AC guy. He was like, hey man, don't let them take out all that framing. It was like a lot of termite damage. You know, you could probably just spray, you know, with Termidor and then, you know, keep it moving. But Alan took all the framing out and was redoing the framing and then, you know, the whole jet situation, you know, I gave them the deeds to the house so they could give me $30,000, but they're still doing the inspections. So it was like a headache. Like I'm rushing and trying to hurry up and do all this refinance before I get my money back, before I run out of money and jet foreclose on me. I'm just trying my best I'm taking out loans for my shoes, and I got a loan on my car, my Charger. I got a $2,500 loan on that. I got loans for all my Jordans. I got 100 apiece. I already tapped out with my wife. She was like my fiance at the time. I think I borrowed like $5,000 from her. And then I didn't want to borrow any money from my dad because he was going to take it out of his 401k, and I didn't want him to do that. You know, like this was my business. So like, if it falls, you know, it is what it is. Like I didn't want to put people in a bad predicament and they're not, you know, able to pay them back. So, you know, I'm just trying to keep everything afloat. You know, I took loans on all my stuff, like my wallet, my backpack, all my designer, my Louis shoes, like everything. Like I'm just trying to keep this thing afloat until I do the refinance at the crack house, and then I can finally fix the Richfield house. My bills at that point are like it's like literally like $10,000 a month. So I'm running out of money a lot. So I'm telling Alan, like, hey, what's up with Fascal? He's like, oh man, he's working on his house. He's about to come as soon as possible. Blase, blase. So, and then like, I haven't told this story before, but I think after we had like the walls up, somebody breaks in the house and they steal my compressor, they steal my AC, and then Felipe, like, he magically disappears. I don't see him no more. I'm like, hey, like, what's up, dude? And he's like, oh, man, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, I was like, I didn't want to make I don't like threatening people, so I was just like, all right, man. I just left him alone. I continued working with Eno. I told Eno what happened. Eno's still my electrician to this day. He's like a good guy. Eno finishes a job for like $2,500. And I think I finally refinanced the crack house. I have like the crack house appraised for like $100,000. I got like $60,000 back. So I'm good. I think I took like, okay, before I got that money, I had a meeting with Jet. They had an inspector come out, and the inspector basically was like, hey, look, man, you're moving too slow. This house, we can't give you any more money. So basically, to make a long story short, because Alan was moving so slow, and I didn't really have that much left in reserves. I think I had like $5,000. That probably would have been enough to make it happen or to finish, because I didn't have the walls up yet, but I had the electrical and I had a lot of the plumbing, but the plumbing wasn't in the house yet. He did under the house. Basically, Jet was gonna take the house from me. If I would have folded, or if I didn't have the other house, they were gonna take the house from me. They were literally gonna foreclose on me and then resell the house as is, or finish the house themselves and then flip the house. And then I would have just took an L. They would have put that house on my credit and I would have been done. But luckily, I finished the crack house. I got a renter in there. She subleased it. She made it a halfway house. It is what it is. I needed the money. So I was like, whatever. So I refinanced the house. I made like $60,000. And Alan was like, oh man, I'll tell the story in contractor. He was like, oh yeah, it was like Labor Day. He was like, yeah, I'm about to go to Dallas. We about to drink, have a good time. He didn't tell me, he just told me what he was gonna do. And then he was like, I was like, hey, look, but can you finish the plumbing by Saturday? He was like, man, I'm leaving Friday. And I think he asked for an advance. I can't remember what he said. And I was like, hey, look, I'll give you $800 if you fix the plumbing inside. And he was like, man, that can't be done. Literally when he left, I already had a plumber come out to look at the house. He said he could do the inside for $800. He literally finished the inside by Sunday. So I think Adlin came back that Monday morning and like got all his stuff and left because he was like pissed off. I mean, because he worked so slow and he didn't bring Fascal, he didn't have that 4-man crew, I damn near went bankrupt. So it was no hard feelings. It is what it is. And I got Jose Luis. He finished the roof. He did the siding. I painted. Jose Luis did the tile. I got a cabinet guy. I still use that cabinet guy to this day. He did the cabinets, the same granite person. I still use that granite person to this day. Refinanced the house. The house appraised for $120,000, and I think I got like $50,000 left after Jet made their money and all the rehab costs. And then, I just continued on after that. So that's my story. To make the moral of the story is, if you can help it, use a private hard money lender or just use your own cash. Like, do what I did. I got a bunch of credit cards. I took the money out. I got loans. And I started buying the houses one by one, and then I refinanced. It took me a little bit of time to find a refinance company. So the interest rates was kind of high, and I kind of got burned with interest, but that's the best case scenario, because you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want a contractor to run off with the money or take too long, and then bam, they take the house from you, and then you're stuck. Like, I tell people all the time, real estate is not complicated, but it's not easy. If you got somebody like me mentoring you and holding your hand through the process, I didn't really have nobody like that. You'll be okay. So that's my story. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all learned from my story. And I got affiliate links at the bottom: Public, Webull, M1 Finance, SoFi link, the Chase links, and then the Discover link. And then also I have my little course. It's like a wholesale course, and it helps you wholesale. Like, basically, you can start buying houses without using your own money, and then the whole process is just easier. Whatever works for you. If you got good credit score, then do it that way. But if you're, kind of stuck, then you can start wholesaling. All you need is a house. You got a good house, you'll be all right. The house appraised for way more than what you're buying it for, then you're good. Y'all have a nice day.